This is the fourth unit of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant after the explosion in 1986. On the night of April 25 to 26, 1986, one of the most famous technotronic disasters happened in the USSR. There was an explosion at Unit 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Many participants of liquidation of consequences of the explosion soon died of radiation sickness. Perhaps the USSR authorities would have classified the accident, as they always did in such cases. But the disaster affected not only the nearby town of Pripyat, whose residents were completely evacuated. Some echoes of the accident even reached Central Europe. So the catastrophe at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant became known all over the world. Naturally, the results of the disaster were thoroughly investigated to determine the cause. But here's the interesting thing. When the Chernobyl plant was built as an object of special importance, the progress of work was controlled by the KGB. It turns out that as early as February 1979, Yuri Andropov, chairman of the KGB, sent a letter to the CPSU Central Committee listing numerous violations during the construction of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The letter lists cases of violations of construction technologies, deviations of the columns of the turbine hull from the horizontal axis. It is reported about high traumatism during construction. Only in 1978 170 people were injured. And so on. This is the letter. Committee of State Security of the USSR. About shortcomings in the construction of the Chernobyl NPP. According to the data available to the KGB of the USSR, in some areas of construction of the second unit of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant there are facts of deviations from the projects, as well as violations of construction and installation work technology, which can lead to accidents and accidents. The columns of the machine hull framework were assembled with a deviation of the axis up to 100 mm between the columns in some bridges. Between the columns of some bridges, there are no horizontal connections. The wall panels have been installed with a deviation of up to 150 mm from the axis. The wall panels have a deviation of up to 150 mm from the axis. The layout of the floor slabs did not comply with the designer's instructions. Deviations from the designer's instructions. The crane rails and brake platforms have height differences of up to 100 mm and are inclined in places up to 8 degrees. The deputy head of the construction department, Comrade Gora, instructed to backfill the foundation in the area, where in many places the vertical waterproofing is damaged. Similar violations, with the knowledge of Comrade Gora and the head of the construction department, Comrade Matveev, were allowed at other construction sites. Damage to the waterproofing can lead to the penetration of groundwater into the plant room and to radioactive contamination of the environment. The management of the directorate does not pay proper attention to the base farm, on the work of which the quality of construction largely depends. The concrete plant works irregularly and the quality of its products is low. During the laying of extra heavy concrete, there were interruptions in concreting, which led to the formation of sinkholes and foundation delamination. The access roads of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant are in an emergency condition. Construction of the third high-voltage line has been delayed. Construction of a third high-voltage line has been delayed, which could limit the capacity utilization of Unit 2. Unit 2 has been delayed as a result of insufficient monitoring of the state of safety in the 3 quarters of 1978. Occupational injuries received 70 people. The loss of working time amounted to 3,366 man-days. The Committee for State Security of Ukraine has been informed by the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Ukraine. Reported by way of information. Chairman of the committee Andropov. The final sentence is very good, reported by order of information. Indeed. What's the big deal? Just information, that's all. And the year, of course, is very important, 1979. Not some Gorbachev perestroika. It was the most exemplary 10th five-year plan in the very best of the Brezhnev years. Yes, they were building for the ages. The explosion happened 7 years after Andropov's letter. True, by that time Andropov was no longer among the living. So, in the Soviet Union, not only homes were built disgustingly, but even such critically important objects as the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. That is how safe the Soviet Union was. Soviet people, if you believe modern lovers of Soviet antiquity, lived then in complete safety and in complete confidence in the future. But one night, somewhere near the city, a nuclear power plant unit exploded. And what was left of this confidence in the future? That's right, nothing. And once again, I have to repeat myself. Security in the Soviet Union was imaginary. And the Soviet people's confidence in the future had nothing to do with reality, but with an elementary lack of information about what was going on in the USSR in the field of various man-made disasters. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Give it a thumbs up. Write in the comments about what else interesting you can tell about this video. See you in the new video.